This is the future. Evolution. This is the future. This is the future. Evolution. This is the future. Evolution.
You realize once you have access or a voice that people are willing to listen to, with that comes a lot of responsibility.
We're a fantastic team. We know we are, and we hope to, over time, try and have as much impact for all the things that we care about as much as possible.
Let's see here. All right, uplifting women. When women are well-resourced, they not only build a better life for themselves, but also dramatically improve the lives of those around them, making it a key tenet in our work to supply communities. The urgency and paramount importance of this work was compounded by COVID-19, which effectively halted economic progress for women, with more than 1 million women forced to leave the labor force in the first year of the pandemic. In America alone, to begin to address this issue, we partnered with the National Women Law Center, AWLC, which does pioneering work to ensure that women and girls, especially women of color, LGBTQ plus people, and women and families with low income can live, learn, and work with safety, dignity, and equality. We support their work to examine the system that brought us to an economic breaking point for women during COVID-19, leading to the release of a research report focused on the experience of women as workers and caregivers during the pandemic. This report provides fresh insight into the experiences of women who left the workforce, the way in which work has changed for women, and the gender wage gap. This insight and the broader work of NWLC has helped educate the public and policymakers on the need for bold federal and state investment when it comes to supporting economic progress for women. In the US, challenges around employment are coupled with a lack of basic support to help families thrive. Support systems like paid leave, affordable childcare, access to family health care, and pathways to educational workplace success are critical. That's why we're working hand in hand with organizations on the front line of this work, including paid leave for all, Mom First, formerly known as Marshall Plan for Mom, and PL Plus US. Okay, so some of these I think I've highlighted in other of my videos on my other channel. Okay, SmartWorks Female Unemployment Index. Since 2019, Megan, the Duchess of Sussex, has been patron of SmartWorks, a UK charity that exists to give women the confidence they need to reach their full potential, secure employment, and change the trajectory of their lives. The Archewell Foundation support will help enable the creation of the first SmartWorks Female Unemployment Index, which will be an extremely robust study looking at unemployment issues that affect women across the UK, with the aim of creating an annual benchmark against which progress and impact can be tracked and measured. Very interesting. Can be tracked and measured. Very interesting.
Hi everyone. Thank you so much for being here today. It's very exciting and it looks beautiful, and I'm sorry if you were waiting for a bit in this sunshine, though. It's pretty nice to have such good weather. So I thought that it would probably be helpful for you to understand how we ended up here today and why this collection was so important to conceive based on the visits and what I was seeing when I was on site at SmartWorks. And let's maybe go back a little bit. Should I hold for sound? They're grateful back there. When I first moved to the UK, it was incredibly important to me personally to be able to connect with people on the ground doing really important work. And one of the places that I went to very early on was SmartWorks. Now, funny enough, and purely by coincidence, it was just a year ago at this same time that I was working on a project in Brhon with this women at a community center called Almanar, and that's when we put together the Together cookbook. So though this is a year later, and obviously this is fashion, not food, at its core, these are very similar projects because they're about women who are empowering each other, me being able to have the opportunity to meet them, get to know them, learn from them, and then say, what can I do in some small way? How can I try to help you amplify this? How can we make this even better, greater, and more impactful for the women that you're trying to help? So on my visits to SmartWorks, one of the times that I went, I realized there's a little bit of a challenge in terms of styling for the women because we had a lot of donations, but not necessarily the things that women needed to have. I said, okay, well, let's try to work with what we have and make the best of it. And then the next time I went, you'll remember this, there was a rack of about 40 or 50 lilac-colored blazers. Now, don't get me wrong. It's a great blazer, and I'm sure for someone, it's exactly what she wants to be wearing. But for most women, when you're going in there and you want to have a job interview and you want to feel your very best and you want to feel confident, you want to be wearing the pieces of clothing that make you feel that way and not the leftovers that didn't sell from the end of the season. And I kept thinking about it as I went home, and it didn't track for me, and I said, we have to do something to change this. And a big piece of this is trying to transform the idea of charity to community. And the way that we do that, I think, as people, is when we go into our closet as a woman and you say, I'm going to make a donation, you don't go through your closet and just toss in a box whatever you don't care about anymore. That's charity as we know it today. Community is going through your closet and saying, this is the blazer that I wore when I nailed my first job interview and got my dream job. And I don't need that anymore because I'm where I want to be. But if I'm able to share that blazer and be part of another woman's success story, then that's community. And so when I thought about it in that personal space, I said, on a bigger level, what can we do with brands, and what companies would be able to help us convene and come together to really build a collection for the women of SmartWorks that could be the pieces that they need to feel confident going into those rooms. This is sort of how we thought of the SmartWorks capsule collection. The first designer that I thought of immediately was a really good friend of mine, Misha Nunu, who has spent a lot of time with her brand ethos developing women's empowerment, but also specifically a capsule wardrobe. So you have key pieces that you can mix and match and really maximize what you have. We all know that in your closet, right? You have certain pieces that you can take from 4 items of clothing and suddenly you have 10 outfits. So that was really important. Separately, I thought, if this is going to be classics and essentials, what are traditional and quintessential British brands that I've become introduced to once I moved here that for me resonated and I knew would resonate with a SmartWorks customer? And that seemed obvious to do M&S and John Lewis, which I've worn quite a bit in the past year or two since I've been here, and they thankfully said yes as well, as did Misha. And the last company that I wanted to have be a part of this project was Jigsaw. And truth be told, that was because I had seen a campaign they had done the year before, which was really highlighting the diversity of the UK and the immigrant culture and how that was part of the fabric of the nation. And when I saw that, I was so touched by it, and I said, anyone who's seeing the world that way and seeing the community that way is someone that I think would be a great partner to have on this project. So they all said yes. And that was a great start. And so thank you so much for that. As we've seen this evolve, I think what's been really amazing is to know that these women will now be equipped in a project that will just be a couple weeks, but will give us enough units to be able to have the women at SmartWorks have these key essentials for a year. And that in and of itself, to be able to have one small project that has such big impact, is something that I'm really connected to. This is the kind of work that I've been doing for a really long time, and to be able to do it here in my new home of the UK means quite a bit to me. It's also the same vein of work that my husband and I will continue doing, really strong community-based projects. And this is something that we'll be excited to be able to share more about next year when we launch our foundation, Sussex Royal, in 2020. So I think at the end of the day, I just want to thank all of you for being able to be here, be a part of this success story for these women. I think it's really key in this day and age that we remember it's not just about the people that you know that you're supporting. It's about the people that you don't know, that you may never know, you may never meet. As women, it is 100% our responsibility, I think, to support and uplift each other, to champion each other as we aim to succeed, to not set each other up for failure, but instead to really be there rallying around each other and say, I want to help you. And you may not ever meet that person, but you'll know when you put on that blazer or that shirt, or you carry that tote or put on those trousers or that dress, that some other woman on the other side of this country is wearing that piece because you made that purchase. And that's why the one-for-one model I found was so incredibly important, and that's why I'm really touched that everyone agreed to do this business model in that way. One quick thing that I found out as we were in the car on the way over here was that the tote's already sold out online. So that's great. And my hope is for any of the brands, if you do have that level of success that you're seeing really early on, to hopefully amplify what you've been able to already be so generous in doing with your contribution, and extend it for just a little bit more so that everyone can play a part in this shared success story. So thank you all so much. I really appreciate it, and I will hand it over to you on the panel. Thank you.
Okay, let's read. The Archewell Foundation has been one of the earliest and most impactful supporters of Mom First and our grassroots movement to get moms the support they need and deserve. From paid leave to affordable childcare, Archewell has not only directly invested in our National Business Coalition for Childcare, dedicated to expanding childcare benefit to American workers, but they have helped us ignite a national conversation about the urgency of supporting moms to our economy, our families, and our communities. Archewell backing and the Duchess' generosity and using her platform to speak out as a mom on behalf of mothers has advanced our effort to transform policy while helping millions of moms feel recognized, valued, and empowered. Rashima Sujani, CEO of Mom First. As I'm reading this, I'm thinking something that Megan have said in her engagement in the UK, where she said with the platform that she have, she take it very, very seriously. Something. I'll insert it. Okay, I'll insert the video. Okay, and I'll put a screenshot of it, but not the full video because YouTube will flag my thing.
Megan, given your acting and the profile you had, you'd already been involved with various causes. You've been an ambassador for UN Women. What about this new role? I mean, you're going to have a bigger platform, a bigger voice. What do you want to do with it?
I mean, how
Sing.
can you imagine? No, I'm not a singer. I think what's been really exciting as we talk about the transition of this out of my career but into the role is that, as you said, the causes that have been very important to me I can focus even more energy on, because very early out of the gate, I think you realize once you have access or a voice that people are willing to listen to, with that comes a lot of responsibility, which I take seriously.
Okay, so let's continue. It costs my. She take it very seriously. There's a lot of responsibility for having a platform. So this is what crossed my mind. So she's taking her platform very seriously and things like that. Okay, So let's continue. Moving toward a better future means recognizing and doing the work to repair deeply entrenched imbalance and biases that continue to affect the lives of women everywhere. Archewell Foundation has provided support to Georgetown University Law Center's initiative on gender justice, which develops innovative policy solutions and conducts groundbreaking research to help schools, hospitals, the juvenile justice system, and other public systems better support marginalized girls who are most impacted by these labels and biases. The Foundation's financial contribution and ongoing partnership is allowing the initiative to deepen and expand its work. And to provide further support to women in the need, we partnered with Venn Project. Okay, this is the thing, partnering. So which means this particular place was already doing some of the work and it aligned with some of the things that Archewell would like to do. So why start from scratch? Just partner with them. Okay, created by the Lefkowski Family Foundation, which empowered teens to become philanthropists in their own lives, inspired by Archetype, a Spotify original podcast created by Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex. This partnership uses Vang's unique model. Okay, they're giving credit where credit is due. The reason I'm saying all of this, because if you've been listening to my other channel, where certain people are trying to create I guess to make a name for themselves instead of partnering with many well-minded educated people have already been doing certain things instead of starting from scratch when you don't have the knowledge of that, but you want to do it. Why not? You have the platform, find one of those people who's been doing those kind of things, partner with them, share the platform with that person, and then give your ideas with them, and hopefully you'll get a solution to whatever it is that you're doing. But don't start from scratch. That crossed my mind. Okay, the Duchess of Sussex, this partnership uses a very unique model of inventing young individuals to nominate an inspiring person for a financial grant. Our joint initiative helps youth between the age of 14 and 18 to grant a total of $1 million and $1 million and $1,000 gift to the inspiring women in their lives who are experiencing financial need. Nominators' work application or approved receive a $1,000 check to surprise their nominees with supporting women in need while also helping the next generation participate in the joy of giving. That's the thing, joy. Okay, passionate. Okay, we also believe that part of a stronger future for women lies in the hand of our trusted allies, men and boys, to support the dismantling of gender stereotypes that hold women back.
I think what's interesting is I hear a lot of people saying, when speaking about girls' empowerment, finding and knowing their worth, or women's empowerment as well, you'll often hear people say, well, you're helping women find their voices. And I fundamentally disagree with that, because women don't need to find a voice. They have a voice, they need to feel empowered to use it, and people need to be encouraged to listen. And I think right now in the climate that we're seeing with so many campaigns, with Me Too and Time's Up, there is no better time than to really continue to shine a light on women feeling empowered and people really helping to support them, men included in that. It makes such a tremendous difference. So
Archewell Foundation provided nonprofit funding to Equimundo and their Global Boyhood Initiative to create a resource guide for promoting gender equity by fostering positive masculinity in boys and men. As I'm listening to this, and the Obama Foundation, there was a video that he put out. I think it was from the Obama Foundation, but Obama was there with was that basketball player. Okay, so it was mostly with young boys. They were talking about things, and there's one part that caught my attention. I don't remember what the question was, but let me put the clip here. Okay, I'm sorry, it will be screenshot, but the audio will play out, okay, to the part that I need.
I'm affiliated with the Center of Sierra Health Foundation, and you both already kind of touched up on it, but from the time boys and men of color are born, we're given this this narrow definition of what it means to be a man, and how can we begin to change the narrative that is currently forcing us to follow a path that doesn't align with our identities, including our brothers are part of the LGBTQ plus community.
Okay. When I'm editing, I probably will insert my opinion. Since it was posted, the guide has been accessed by 3,673 individuals in 122 countries, building a coalition of allies who together can help challenge harmful gender stereotype. Yeah, that's wow, that's a lot of work. Let's continue. Fostering community. Okay, finding and fostering community can take countless forms, like welcoming a new neighbor or reaching out to an old friend. It can also look like a hot and nourishing meal in a time of need, or even a new playground for a town battling grief. I'm thinking Uvalde. Okay, and World Central Kitchen. Yeah, that's World Central Kitchen. Okay, and one of our earliest partnership, Archewell Foundation and Chef Jose Andres, Well Central Kitchen, established a joint philanthropic partnership and a service of strengthening local communities around the world through the power of food. We support efforts at the front line of climate disasters, including Puerto Rico and Dominica. Archewell Foundation support also benefit World Central Kitchen relief work throughout the world, which include emergency food relief due to flood, fire, earthquake, and the invasion of Ukraine. I've shared not a lot, but a good portion of World Central Kitchen work on both PYTE and Archewell Team Sussex. And I also have a video of one of the World Central Kitchen individual who was in the ground, I think it was Dominica, who was giving thanks to Harry and Meghan. Okay.
This is Felix for World Central Kitchen reporting from Soufrière Primary School in the Caribbean island of Dominica. The school you can see behind me was devastated by Hurricane Maria back in 2017, and in fact it took a whole 2 years before pupils were allowed back on site. I'm now here with my colleague Jason to announce the completion of the first of our community relief kitchens. The kitchen will be used primarily to feed the needs of the 67 pupils here at the school, but we'll also be offering culinary training to the wider community when the school's not in session. We've been able to design the kitchen in such a way that it's resilient to future disasters and will be activated as a service kitchen to meet those needs if it arises. We really like to extend our thanks firstly to ResDM, the local partner on the ground here, and also to Meghan and Harry's Archewell Foundation, whose support have helped the project become possible.
So let's continue. Well Central Kitchen has served 50,000 meals around the world thanks to our partnership, which include hot meals and food kit, also adapting based on each community's need. And in one of my other channel, I believe when there was the flood in California, Well Central Kitchen was there as well. It wasn't too far off from where Harry and Meghan are. Okay, so you just never know when, disaster might strike. Okay, so I did highlight it in one of my videos. Okay, let's continue. Harry and Meghan, my dear friend, you bring hope to each and every community you touch, always with a smile, always with empathy, and through your partnership with World Central Kitchen, sometimes a hot plate of food that shows people in need how much we care. Jose Andres, chef and founder of World Central Kitchen. Okay, community can also take the form of the basic comfort we take for granted, like the roof over our heads. In 2021, winter storm UV swept across American Southwest, causing a devastation impact on the state of Texas. I've also highlighted this on, I think it, okay. Archewell Team Sussex and PYTE, they're pretty much the same. Okay, right now one is going through some stuff with YouTube, is demonetized, so I use the other channel to continue the same work. Okay, it's in one of them. If you in doubt which one to subscribe, I suggest you subscribe to both of them, because when one is not working, I jump to the other one. Okay, right now I'm operating under the backup. Okay, but I spoke about this specific thing. Okay. Where was I? Winter storm UV swept across the American Southwest, causing a devastating impact on the state of Texas. Due to the storm, Genesis Women's Shelter and Support, which serves thousands of domestic violence survivors across the Dallas area each year, experience major damage and flooding. Genesis provides a vital ongoing lifeline to families who have experienced domestic violence, including emergency shelter services, transitional housing, counsel services, and pro bono legal services. Oh, very interesting. Well, when you think about it, yeah, the law has to get involved, because if there's domestic violence, But anyway, I didn't think about that at first, but reading it, it made me think, yeah, they need that. Okay? During the storm, Genesis was forced to completely shut its door for the first time in its nearly 40 years of operation. Very interesting. I didn't know that. Okay, and the support of their recovery, Archewell Foundation provided the financial support to replace the shelter's roof and make repairs at Annie House, okay, their transitional housing facility for women and children, and to provide additional resources for Genesis to help its network of families in need. Shortly after, Genesis Women's Shelter was able to resume its usual operation at Annie House and to focus on expanding their services by opening an additional outreach site in Lancaster, which provide critical life-saving domestic violence support services to women and children in southern Dallas. As I'm reading this, I'm thinking of Sister Space in the UK. Alright, so that's another charity similar to that in the UK. Alright, I'm thinking they miss out, because these are the things Harry and Meghan could have helped. But let's continue. Alright, by providing these critical funds, the Archewell Foundation allow women and children to move back into Annie House to continue their journey on the Genesis Women's Shelter continuum of care to build a life free of violence. Jane Edgar Long Bean, CEO of Genesis Women's Shelter and Support. Okay, let's see here. Let's read this part. It's very small also. A twist of greatness. When the Duchess of Sussex first heard about Brittany Stark and her organization, A Twist of Greatness, she immediately knew she wanted to get involved. Brittany and her organization provide free hair braiding to children in Antioch, Tennessee, because she and her volunteers understand how expensive and time-consuming hair braiding can be, and equally how important a brand new hairstyle is for a young black girl confidence. The Duchess, recognizing that every action and support of one community matters, wanting to help Brittany expand her work and spread joy, Archewell Foundation provided a grant which has given even more children beautiful braid hairstyle that she and her team of volunteers provide free of charge. Very interesting. I never heard of that. Very interesting. Okay, so let's continue on this one. If you've been watching on my other channel when I'm reading the tweets, there is something in Twitter font that really messed my eyes, but here I could read the font perfectly. Okay, let's read. When tragedy struck Uvalde, Texas, Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, saw a community in grief firsthand. In the week and months that followed, Archewell Foundation kept in touch with the community to understand their long-term needs. Okay, Archewell Foundation partnered with the city of Uvalde and Kaboom to create a play space for children in the community at the De Leon Park, built to be a home for play therapy. I shared that on my other channel. I didn't know it was a therapy. Okay, but let's finish with. Let me understand this. Built to be a home for play therapy and healing, the community playground is symbolic of the hope and strength the city has exhibited in its ongoing recovery following the tragic shooting at Robb Elementary School on May 24, 2022. Kaboom was the perfect partner as the community build process engages the community in the design of the park itself and create a lasting impact on its partners, especially in terms of building capacity, community development, and play experience and enhancement. As I'm reading this, I'm thinking, I remember in my architecture class, I think it was could have been my second or third year, we had to design a park, and we went to a place somewhere in New York. There was an empty lot, and they told us to design something. We have to take measurement and whatever. But anyway, let's continue. Okay, it is incredibly rare that a supporter come with such a deep level of humility, truly making their gifts about someone else, with no agenda or expectation. Archewell Foundation willingness to do this is what made it so easy to bond with our new family and Uvalde. They know the love behind the intent. It's something we've all treasured, and we are grateful to you for giving it so freely. Thank you for modeling all that extraordinary and humanity. Lisa Ratcliffe, CEO of Kaboom. Yeah. There's nothing to add here because they're doing it out of their heart, nothing in return. But let's continue. Okay, this might be 2 videos or so, but let's continue. Building a better online world. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex have spent years working to explore and address how the online world has radically changed our way of life and the impact it has on trust, family, mental health, and the rise in hate. Through Archewell Foundation, our work is aimed at creating a technology ecosystem designed for good, one that is safe, healthy, inclusive, and innovative. We have built a relationship with leading voices across academia, industry, and civil society, and we are prioritizing hearing from parents and families around the world whose lives have been directly impacted or harmed by the online world. These personal testimonies and real-world stories serve as a compass for Archewell Foundation to help usher in the online future we want to see for our children. I have a video when Harry first came about this. I forgot what I said, but I remember the thumbnails, and I did some crazy stuff with his head, reprogramming or something. I think that was the one that I did that when I first heard of Harry talking about the online thing. But I'll put the thumbnails of that video. It's in one of my old videos. One of our inaugural partners, the UCLA Center for Critical Internet Inquiry, now known as the UCLA Center on Race and Digital Justice, is the recipient of multi-year research and program funding under the leadership of the acclaimed Dr. Sophia Noble. Also a MacArthur Fellow, the center is a global leader in reimagining technology, championing racial and economic justice in the tech sector, and strengthening democracy through culture making and public policy work. Okay, let's see this one. Online safety for youth. We are continuing to listen to celebrate the next generation of leaders creating transformational change in the space and to help bring ideas to help. Okay, Archewell Foundation celebrate the young people involved in the Design It For Us coalition in California for their work, making online safety for young people a reality, and working with Five Right Foundation in the UK. The Duke of Sussex supported the launch of the Global Online Child Safety Toolkit, a step-by-step roadmap for policymakers and practitioners around the world to enshrine child safety online into law in a way that can be designed in a bespoke manner for any country. Very interesting. Very interesting. Okay, let's read this. Quote, the relationship and support from Team Archewell have had tremendous halo effect on raising visibility to issues of discrimination and harm that emanate from the tech sector. Perhaps the most significant result from the generous support from Archewell Foundation is the creation and soon to launch of the UCLA Center on Race and Digital Justice. This new center, with a deep commitment to racial justice, grew directly out of the work of the UCLA Center for Critical Internet Inquiry, supported by the Archewell Foundation. Dr. Sophia Noble, Director, UCLA Center on Race and Digital Justice. As I'm reading this, I believe it was this morning or yesterday, someone posted something on Twitter where they come across advertisement. I think it was for some sort of a digital thing where they say the ad specifically say only white people apply. Okay, I think it's somewhere in the South, could have been Texas or something like that. If I found it, I'll put the screenshot there. But Hey, people's trying to move forward, but there's those people who wants to move us back. But let's continue. Building up on this work, Archewell Foundation provided a key philanthropic grant to help fund the institution for rebooting social media, a new 3-year initiative at the Brhon Center for Internet and Society at Harvard University. The institute is addressing society's most urgent concerns surrounding social media, including hate speech and harassment, misinformation, and privacy. Archewell Foundation ongoing commitment will help amplify projects within the institution, connecting them to cultural and narrative change effort, and will continue to support the RSM. What was RSM again? Robotic social media. Okay, Assembly Fellowship that runs throughout the 2022-2023 academic year. Recently, robotic social media, okay, officially welcomed 13 inaugural fellows from around the world who will work together to develop and expand on groundbreaking projects that reimagine our digital world. Very interesting. There's a lot of smart people in there. Wow. And you have to be very passionate about this thing to be involved in these. As I'm reading some of these, I'm thinking that was before Harry left the UK, when he's working for the firm. I think even before Megan came in, where he was meeting those tech young people and he was asking questions. And then in one of my tweet videos, I was reading something, and someone put a picture of Harry with a young lady. You know, they're discussing whatever it is, and that person who was in the picture commented on the picture and said that was me, blah blah blah. And Harry was very fascinated about how, I think it was a watch, how the watch work, and he was asking very valid question and stuff like that. So that crossed my mind as I was reading this. Okay, the Archewell Foundation support was the enabling factor behind the Robotic Social Media Assembly Fellowship Program and the continued development of the 13 fellow projects aimed at addressing social media's most urgent problems as we work to create healthier online ecosystem. Rebecca Rankovic, okay, Director of the Institution for Rebooting Social Media at Harvard University. Wow, that's a lot of things. My goodness. As so many of us have come to realize, the way we experience technology isn't working. Unfortunately, the online world is behaving exactly as intended. It was built to keep us engaged, clicking, and angry. That is true. Okay, and it has given rise to hatred and discrimination, the targeting of vulnerable communities and kids, and extreme polarization. An important part of our work is listening to those who have been most impacted by the online world and hearing their solution so we can continue to advocate for them. That's the thing. Archewell Foundation, that just reminded me, not too long ago, I think it was last week or this week, after the shooting that happened in Tennessee, where young people, school kids, went to the street and protest. I got out of the classroom to protest. And I believe in that video that I highlighted, that particular protest, and I said, we, the adults, have to be the voice for those kids. How do we show our voice? Is through voting. Pay attention. Who is, aligned with your interest? Who will protect your children? So voting is the part here. Okay, that reminds me of something that I've said. So we are advocating for our children. Okay, Archewell Foundation hosted a listening and learn conversation between the Duke and Duchess of Sussex and the amazing young people of the Gifted Young Gravesham GYG, a partner organization to Five Right Foundation in the UK, which put young people at the center of building a positive digital future. The young adults from GYG share personal stories about how social media affect their mood, well-being, and interaction with peers, teachers, and family. These important stories and experiences help leaders contextualize the global conversation around online harms and inspire new partnership ideas and policies for solving the challenges young people and parents face in the digital world. Very interesting. Okay, the NAACP Archewell Digital Civil Rights Award. We teamed up with NAACP to create an annual award which recognizes individuals for their work advancing solutions to tech's biggest social justice issues. The NAACP Archewell Digital Civil Rights Award winners receive $100,000 to use to advance research, expand their leadership, and continue to make an impact in the field of digital equity. Wow. Okay, let's see here. I'm almost done. Okay, I'm in page 18 and there are page like 23. The last one is not that much. Okay, so we're here. Archewell Foundation hosted 5 families pursuing accountability against social media industry, as well as the legal leader representing them from the Social Media Victim Law Center. During the event, we heard personal stories about the impact of social media on their lives and discussed their ideas on the way forward for tech and young people. We are responding by continuing to bring parents who have been affected by online harms together, building an alliance. There's the bridge thing. This is the bridge that I said what Archewell is all about. Okay, an alliance of doers ready to take action, and by developing proposals for the best way forward in tech, bringing these ideas directly to those best positioned to implement them. Okay, we also know that technology can unleash a plethora of good and will remain a digital tool for community building, personal connection, and economic prosperity. Archewell Foundation founded Cortico. Cortico. What is Cortico? Okay, founded article. Okay, so I'm copying this to put somewhere. Okay, Cortico, which collaborate with MIT Center for Constructive Communication as part of our hope for a more civil and nuanced human dialogue, both online and offline. Okay, funded. Okay. Okay, let's finish with that. Cortico has built a new kind of conversation platform to bring people together and recorded small group conversation to discuss their lived experiences. The platform combined deep listening with artificial intelligence and natural language processing to identify what really matters to our underheard communities and surface new local voices into public dialogue and decision making. Since receiving support from Archewell Foundation, Cortico has continued to grow its team and make progress on several priority research and development projects. As a matter of fact, when I was reading this, where they record small group conversation, for some reason I was thinking of what's that foundation, Shout in the UK, because Shout is, I read some articles about them where, the people can call to. If they have some issues they're going through, they could talk to some people. So those conversations were supposed to be private. And then what they did is that some of those conversations went to a for-profit company. So some people were very upset about that. Okay, so that crossed my mind when I was reading this part. Okay, the pursuit of tech justice. Archewell Foundation has provided grant to Color of Change, the nation's largest online racial justice organization, to support their work in the pursuit of tech justice, leading campaign to end practices and unfair hold Black people back, and championing solutions that move society forward. This work includes efforts such as Black Tech Agenda, affirmative vision, and real policy solution to advance racial equity in tech. Again, as I'm reading this, there's so many organizations out there. I didn't know they exist. But what crossed my mind as I read some of these, I'm thinking, I don't know. Okay, this is purely humble opinion. I'm thinking of Miss Doria, who's into charitable work. What does she do again? I forgot. I forgot the position. Okay, so she must give Megan some names of charities and organizations that are in existence. I don't know. That crossed my mind. Okay, I do not know. Okay, this is my humble opinion. All right, so let's continue. I'm almost done. Okay, restoring trust and information. Building on our pursuit of healthier online space, Archewell Foundation has also taken a direct interest in how we create a better, more trustworthy and diverse information environment across all forms of media. We believe the rapid rise in misinformation, disinformation, and online harassment is a humanitarian issue. As I'm reading this, I'm thinking, whenever there's a negative that happen, if people take their time and think and analyze what they've gone through, there's usually, almost always, a good thing that come out of it. With the misinformation and disinformation that we've been seeing, been going on for decades, for centuries probably, is that Harry have gone through it. He's experienced it. So he knows the end of the stick of those negative thing that is being said, put out there. So the positive thing that come out of his struggle and his mother's struggle due to misinformation, disinformation, and all of that, and thank God, in a way, Princess Diana did not go through the online abuse, but maybe in some shape or form, maybe that could have been good because people would know more. Look how we interact online to stop those misinformation that's going on online. As always, there's always a good and a negative. So the positive thing that come out of it is the fact that Harry is doing something about it along with his wife. Okay, so let's continue. In response to this growing crisis, the Archewell Foundation joined the Aspen Institute's Commission on Information Disorder, designed to provide recommendations to addressing the growing mis- and disinformation crisis in tech, media, and social media. In 2021, the Duke of Sussex joined a key panel comprised of policy experts, researchers, tech industries, voices, former public officials, philanthropic leaders, and representatives from the media to help generate a series of recommendations to rebuild trust and information. It takes a community to do this because I'm editing this like a couple days after I came from vacation. I'm editing this and I recorded before I went on vacation. So one of the things that I saw going on social media, I think Missouri, I think that's the state that just defund public libraries. Of all things, public libraries. So when I plan on, after I finish edit this video, I plan on record that particular episode. Is that one of the things that I was thinking when I saw it is that when you look at New York and Georgia, you see who's actually following the law. And in the long run, these Republicans who think they are hurting another group, they're pretty much hurting themselves because their education level will not be up to par to be hold certain position. Maybe they could run. Look at the type of people we're having as representative in Washington. Okay, so all of this, they are minimize their own doing. And when the reason I raised New York and Georgia is who is implementing the law. Okay, the two minorities, okay, from two different states, who they've been trying for so long to put down, prevent them from learning. When they try to, Board of Ed, when they try to, they prevent blacks from learning and all of that. So all this crossed my mind when I saw that particular post. But let's continue. In 2021, the Duke of Sussex joined a key panel comprised of policy expert researchers, tech industry voices, former public officials, philanthropic leaders, and representatives from the media to help generate a series of recommendations to rebuild trust and information. Their findings were praised by the Washington Post. Okay, I was editing a video. I think I mentioned something about Washington. Oh, no. Not the same. I take it back. It was New York Post. Never mind. okay, among others, who said the conclusion of a necessary plan for any comprehensive government strategy to treat the country's information disorder. A critical part of any strategy to rebuild trust and information is to restore trust in the news. Yes. And then there needs to be punishment when these people go out of their way to confuse people. Okay, so this is happening right now with Dominion and Fox, and then in the UK there's heavy with ANL. Okay, let's continue. And reporting, and to acknowledge that information ecosystem lacking in diverse voices limits access to the full scope of human storytelling and perspective. Archewell Foundation award PressPad Charitable Foundation with a grant to help lower the financial barrier for young people who want to become journalists, as research has shown that newsrooms often do not reflect the demographic and economic diversity of the communities they cover. UK-based PressPad provides bursaries, grants, training, and support and complement to their sister social enterprise model, which link mentoring, networking, and accommodation to help young people of diverse backgrounds gain entry into the journalism field. I'm thinking of Omid, how the haters always seem to bash on Omid when Omid is telling his perspective. And I'm not saying Omid is always right, but at least he's telling his side of the story. He's not branching out to just to get applause or something like that. But whatever, let's continue. Outside of the UK, we've provided support to UL Media and the 19th News. Okay, there's Megan who had interviewed her, I think 2 years ago, the 19th. Okay, URL Media is a multi-platform network of Black and Brown-owned media organization. I didn't know that. Okay, with a mission to serve communities, that have often been overlooked and undervalued, and to build a network of community-centered media organizations that are trusted and respected. Archewell Foundation philanthropic contributions have helped URL build its talent pipeline, ensuring more media outlets around the country reflect diverse leadership and amplify diverse storytelling. As a direct result of Archewell Foundation investment, URL Media not only expanded their roster as a service, but also grew revenue by 32% over the last year, allowing the organization to innovate, grow their staff and in-house expertise, and most importantly, grow a robust network of diverse and highly skilled talent. Wow. So they help boost them. So with that grant, they were able to expand, and then they're growing. Okay, the 19th News is an independent nonprofit newsroom reporting on gender, politics, and policy. Support from Archewell Foundation has allowed them to expand their coverage of BIPOC, okay, and LGBTQ communities, and advance generous leave and caregiving policies inside the organization. These investments stem from our belief that community-based news outlets play a vital role in improving everyone's online experience. As part of our future work, we are investing in global partnerships to improve our information ecosystem and better understand how information and media interact with wider societal trends. Okay, the Archewell Foundation's grant was revolutionary as it allowed URL Media to build a robust recruitment team and strategy for people of color and the employers who seek their talent and excellence. Sarah Lomax-Reese and Smitra Kalita, co-founder of URL Media. Very interesting. Okay, so mental health, and then we're almost done. Okay, mental health. Building community, online and off, means meaningful improving outcomes and conditions for people everywhere. To do so, we have to repair pervasive systemic inequities, which include promoting mental fitness and ensuring equal access to mental health and wellness services. In 2022, the World Health Organization's World Mental Health Report revealed that rates of already common conditions such as depression and anxiety went up by more than 25% in the first year of the pandemic. Adding to the nearly 1 billion people who were already struggling with their mental health, the pandemic has simultaneously fueled and exposed the mental health crisis we are facing, and is more urgent than ever that we addressed it. The Archewell Foundation has supported the work of Project Healthy Minds, a nonprofit designed for a new era of mental wellness. With this support, Project Healthy Minds created a resource guide tailored to today's mental health needs, searchable by emotional state or type of service. And in support of our work at the intersection of gender and mental health, Project Healthy Minds also produce guides and resources to accompany the Duchess's podcast Archetypes, supporting listeners who have been impacted by the issues discussed on the show. Very interesting. Healthy Project Minds. Yes. The Archewell Foundation has also supported the Loveland Foundation, a growing organization that focuses on providing affordable and accessible mental health resources to Black women and girls. With a robust network of partnership across the country, Loveland Therapy Fund knocks down financial barriers to high-quality services and resources. These organizations each recognize the value of our collective effort in creating change. Similarly, we believe that progress is only truly found when we all take an intersectional approach to our work, and thus mental health is not just an area of focus, it is also a lens through which we view all our work. We will continue to use our resources to make a meaningful difference in this field, and use our voice to destigmatize the issue of mental health around the world. Okay, let's read this and then that'll be it. Humanity Crew, inspired by the Duke of Sussex, The Me You Can't See, a serious focus on destigmatizing mental health, and donation to Humanity Crew help kickstart the creation of mental health emergency rooms in Palestine. Wow! Israel and Greece. These ERs provide psychological first aid in times of crisis to community centers and refugee camps and areas with no access to mental health support. Specifically, Archewell Foundation's funding was directed toward training 150 youth and 100 key community members as mental health first responders, establishing the mental health emergency rooms, and providing structures, mental health and psychosocial support MHPSS services and activities for at least 3,000 children and youth. The Foundation's support also helped Humanity Crew respond to the Ukraine crisis with a mission to Poland, supporting Ukrainian children and mothers who fled there. As I was reading this not too long ago, there was a report where Archewell went, it's in somewhere in Middle East. Is it Turkey? There was an earthquake. So that's probably part of that. Okay, I think it's in their front page on Archewell.com. Maybe I'll check it out to see what they were talking about. Okay, I'm already an hour and 14 minutes. Okay, looking ahead, as we approach our third year at the Archewell Foundation, we reflect on the depth of the experience. It has been rich with learning, growth, inspiration, and action. We've made new partnerships and strengthened existing ones. We've rolled our sleeves, opened our arms, and open our hearts, creating connections through care and compassion in time of need and time of crisis. And we've seen the transformative power of leading through this lens. We're excited to embark on the next chapter with a renewed spirit and an unwavering commitment to key issues which have an overwhelmingly ripple effect on our collective well-being, dovetailing off the impact we've made during this startup phase. We will continue to build a better world online, work to restore trust in information, and above all, uplift communities online and offline, local and global. James Holz Shonenev, Co-Executive Director of the Archewell Foundation. Yeah, it takes each one of us. It takes each one of us. Each time you're online individually, just you put positive things out there. You see negative thing, maybe you go, if you don't want to deal that, because there's some trolls, okay, who specifically put things out, when you start responding to them, they went back and tried to affect your psyches. You either, if you could take it, okay, respond back with kindness, and if you can't take it, whatever they might respond back to you, just don't start at all. Don't respond to them. But at least for your part, when you're putting something out, just make it positive. Okay, so this is what Archewell have been doing, okay, for the first year. And I'm glad I started this video first with that. But occasionally, I will go over other charities and some of the charities they mentioned and the impact report.
Evolution. This is the future.
To look at what they're doing and what they're all about. Maybe go on their website and read what they've done and things like that. That was something I said I was gonna, okay, their main page. Let's see here, their main page. The impact report, this one, okay, regarding the mental health. Let's see here, okay. Archewell Foundation joined two beloved organizations to aid healing in Turkey and Syria. So that's where it was, Turkey and Syria. All right, so let's see here. I'm only gonna read this. This is about Uvalde. That's for another video. Okay, since mental health was mentioned at the end of the impact report. Okay, when an earthquake struck Turkey and Syria in February, global relief organization became a lifeline to address the immediate and long-term needs in these communities. Two of these organizations are Well Central Kitchen and Humanity Crew, and we are honored to support them both as they reach thousands. Okay, in the wake of crisis, each organization delivers critical care to those in need. Humanity Crew provide, there's the thing here, I think the point. Humanity Crew provides mental health aid to children, caregivers, and emergency responders, while Central Kitchen immediately deploy teams to provide hot meals in the area. Through their mutual connection to the Archewell Foundation, these organizations found synergy in their mission that has allowed them to provide more comprehensive aid. Humanity Crew mental health support reach Well Central Kitchen aid workers serving in the region, creating a support network that allowed them to better serve. With support from the Archewell Foundation, Humanity Crew's mental health professionals in Turkey, in addition to helping aid workers on the ground, are able to continue their work providing psychological aid to alleviate trauma and shock, training local responders on providing mental health support, running support groups with adolescents, serving families through counseling, and working with non-governmental organizations to ensure culturally competent intervention. Wow, this is very... because over there it's very religious, because when religion start getting involved, it become the focus of what really needs to help the people is usually out the window. Okay, so I see what they're saying here. Okay, these two beloved, that's my understanding, by the way. Okay, it could be something else, but that's my understanding. These two beloved organizations are committed to supporting communities in the region, and the Archewell Foundation is proud to have connected and uplifted them both as they do life-changing work. For more information and to support Humanity Crew, please visit humanitycrew.com. Okay, so that will be for another video. Okay, so another time, when I have the time, I'll come to Archewell again and look for certain organization to highlight in a video. Okay, so that's it, and let me know what you think of this video. And then as I continue with this channel, maybe I'll be more inclined to do more things, but it will, the focus will still be on charity that the Archewell Foundation is partnered with or have highlighted or things like that. Okay, so that's it. Please take a moment to subscribe, like, and share. If you want to support this channel, I'll leave the same link. It's the same link I put on all of my channel. If you want to support this channel, there's a PayPal link and a Cash App link in the description. You could donate. Okay, so that's how you could help support this channel. It's the same link that I have on PYTE and Appu Team Sussex. They all one, same focus, but different focus. All right, so that's it. Thank you for your support.
is the future.